I'm Mike Quackenbush. This is Till We Make It, and today I want to share with you a piece from a recent online seminar I taught in which I was asked a great question. What are the upsides to making bolder character choices so that your character's differentiating value proposition makes it seem more unique? And what can you do if your existing character doesn't seem to meet those criteria? We're going to go over that next.
Let's say you've been tasked with coming up with a differentiating value proposition or logline for a character that seems commonplace. That's a real challenge, right? Because of the function of your DVP. It has to make you different in the marketplace, and it has to add value. But if everybody else has the same values because the character is commonplace, it fails to differentiate. The one handicaps the other. By having commonplace value, even a clear statement won't differentiate you in that crowded marketplace. And if that sounds like you, what you need to do is make a bolder character choice. Now, I'm not saying that you need to completely abandon the character that you've been doing, but you are going to revise. You may come up with a brand new draft of that character. So here's an example that springs immediately to my mind that I'd love to talk about for a minute. So, at the time that I really fell in love with the World Wrestling Federation, Owen Hart wrestles as the Rocket. First, he's half of New Foundation with Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and then he's roughly the exact same when he's in High Energy with Coco Beware. And then he's a singles wrestler for a while. His pants change, but he's still the Rocket Owen Hart. And yet, there comes a time when he has to be more clearly defined against the backdrop of the very crowded WWF roster. So one way in which they do this, as they come up with a brand new revision of the Owen Hart character, is they define him as the King of Hearts. He becomes the evil Hart brother. His heel turn allows him to reveal new facets of his character. Now, is he no longer Owen Hart? No, he's still Owen Hart, but they traded out the Rocket, which is a nickname, not a differentiating value proposition, for a new nickname, the King of Hearts. They redefined that part of the character presentation so he became even more unique. And look what happens. The harder that they define Owen Hart in that direction, they make it bolder and they make it clearer. The Rocket Owen Hart is a little bit generic sounding, the Rocket. Whereas once they start to use Owen to contrast against a very well-defined character in that first storyline, of course, it's his brother, Bret the Hitman Hart. It allows Owen to show different aspects of the character, and the bolder he gets with his character choices, the higher his stock rises up through the roster. He goes from being opening match or undercard babyface fare as one half of High Energy. By SummerSlam of '94, he is main eventing the pay-per-view. So, did they just crumble up Owen Hart and throw him away? No, but they did revise Owen Hart and made bolder character choices with him to allow him to ascend through the hierarchy of the roster. So you need not throw out the character you've already created. You don't have to. But if it is too commonplace, it is too generic, or it is nondescript, you need to make a bolder character choice and then clarify that as fast as possible. And one of many ways that you can do that is decide who the character foils against for maximum contrast. So there was something about the way Owen Hart, as the King of Hearts, foiled against Bret the Hitman Hart. And through that contrast, really allowed his personality to pop off the screen in a way that it did not when he was half of New Foundation, or half of High Energy, or just wearing metallic blue and orange as the Rocket Owen Hart. So give some thought to that as well. Is there a character that you might be able to foil against who, by virtue of contrast, makes your character clearer? First, do a little bit of that revision work. We need a new draft. If the character is nondescript and it doesn't differentiate and add value, something is amiss. But make that bolder character choice and then find a character you can foil against for maximum contrast. I bet with just a little bit of work and negotiating, you're going to be able to find an organization willing to feature you in a series of matches where you can enjoy that contrast, and it will help make the character really pop off the screen.